did want to do our quick obituary. Um,
Oh, that's great.
yes, rest in peace to the Houston Rockets. You were a very bad team this season. You didn't do very
Very
well.
bad.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean you traded away, everybody. So, everybody knew it was coming, but rest in peace to the Houston Rockets.
They might get James Harden back next year. There's been a lot of rumors.
Yes, and also, thankfully the Houston Rockets don't have to die alone because rest in peace also to the San Antonio Spurs. Their neighbor in Texas. They also very bad this season. I feel like Popovich, like this has got to be like the end of his rope, right?
No, I think he likes this stuff. I think
Oh
he
my!
likes like the rebuilding type of what else is he gonna do? You
I
know what I
don't
mean?
know.
Yeah. I think if I remember correctly, they had a historically bad defense this year. Like their defense broke numbers
It
with
was
how bad they were.
it was
That
brutal.
that can also be because of the scoring too, because the scoring in the league has gotten a lot better. That we've seen even like this year. It seems like the 3-point percentages are crazy. Um, I don't know if you have this team on your obituary list, but we might as well say them. They are not officially eliminated, but next time we podcast, it'll probably be there. The Portland Trailblazers,
Rest in
R.I.P.
peace. Rest in peace. Yes. The Rose City. We will be sure to lay roses on
Damon's
your
not
on
going to
your
be there
grave.
next season.
I think he
I
is. He's gonna retire a
I
Blazer. It's gonna be the saddest thing that you ever see in your life, but that man's gonna retire a Portland
I
Trailblazer.
unless they make a huge move, I don't even know what move would be out there. But unless they did something like that, I think he's leaving.
What do you?
Um,
Okay, let me ask you
that's
this. Let me ask you this. Do you think he's not going to be there because he's going to go to another team, or do you think he's not going to be there because he retires? Because I will tell you right now, I
he's
think
not gonna retire.
it is
He's
more
just in his
likely
feelings,
it is
and
mo-
that's why he was talking like that.
it is more likely he'll retire than he goes to another team. He's not going to leave Portland. You and I can put a side bet on this. Down the road here, he is not going to leave Portland. I don't care. Like, and I think that they will make a move for him, but I don't know. Every move they make
It doesn't
seems to
matter what he
backfire.
wants, too. Like he could not want it, and the Portland could be like, "We want to rebuild. Let's trade this guy while he still has a lot of value. Like he's not getting any younger. We're not gonna win with him. Like it hasn't happened. Nobody
I
wants to
don't
come
see
here.
I don't see I don't see that city doing it to him. Like I don't. I feel like he's going to retire a
They might
Portland
sit him
Trailblazer.
down and be like, "Hey, Dame, this is what it is, man," and he might be like, "You know what? Okay." Like I don't even think it would have to be like they're doing it under his nose and they're trying to, you know what I mean? They could just be like, "Yo, it is what it is.
Yeah.
We haven't won here." You never thought they would trade CJ, probably. You know what I mean? That probably came as a shock to people. I don't know.
Well,
I think, dude, they were so bad this year.
I mean they were pretty
and
bad. They were
they were the worst team that was like kind of trying to win, pretty much.
yeah.
Like the teams below them or near them are teams that they're not expecting to win. Like, yeah, I don't know. So, do you want to move on to the Eastern Conference
We,
obituary?
we can. So yes.
Yes.
So listen, rest in peace, and this is gonna be a double rest in peace. Rest in peace to the Charlotte Hornets because not only are you officially eliminated from this season, but it looks like Michael Jordan is going to sell out of the team. So I don't know if you've heard this, but yeah, Michael Jordan is looking to sell his stake in the team and
did.
move on from them. And so I think that's a hit because there are not enough black-owned teams in the NBA as it is already. And
There's none, I don't
losing
think.
Jordan, he's probably going to sell to
I think he's the only one.
yeah, and I think he's gonna sell to like a banking
Majority owner.
yeah, a banking group. He's gonna sell to a banking group, which I think is, majority white owned. So, if not all. So I mean that's sad. And then yeah, obviously, they they just have some rebuilding to do. I think they could be good in the future, but also who knows how this team's going to be run. I mean, there's certain franchises where you're just like, yeah, I don't know if they'll ever get it together, and Charlotte seems like one of them at this point.
I feel like this season they had a little bit of bad luck too, with LaMelo getting injured, with Miles Bridges and that whole domestic abuse thing, and he's basically persona non grata. He was a big player that they had. Gordon Hayward is probably never going to be healthy like in the NBA ever, seemingly. That was just a bad decision on their part.
I mean, what
Michael
do you...
Jordan has owned that team for 17 years, and they've only made the playoffs 3 times, and they never made it past the first round. Like like that is bleak.
It's bad. It's bad. Like and I know that he had I know that he had like a general manager role as the owner as well. He was making moves as far, and so
they lost the play-in like twice in a row. Like both years they lost the play-in game. Like they've never really bad enough to like get big picks, and when they have gotten big picks, sometimes they miss. We remember Adam Morrison. A lot of people thought he was going to be really good. So Bismack Biyombo, that was another one that they kind of missed on. Cody Zeller never really became that. Even though he's a nice player, he never really became that guy. So they've missed on a lot of draft picks. The LaMelo and Kemba are really the only ones that they ever, hit a home run with. And they just honestly kind of ran Kemba into the ground with all his injuries and stuff like that, and might have derailed his career. That's a different story. But yeah, man, it's sad to see because he's brought obviously such great things to the game and everything like that. But it's really sad because like he's really sank his hometown team. You know what I mean? And that's been his doing. They've been in basketball purgatory or hell, however you want to call it.
I'd call it hell
now.
I'd call it hell. And and
as a franchise, they've maybe gone to the second round like twice, if that. Like, so
it's been bad.
They got sick uniforms, but hopefully. We've seen what happened with Sacramento this year. You know what I mean? To say like things are always going to be terrible. It doesn't take that much sometimes, but like they need to do something different because what they're doing is not working.
And I can't imagine the toll that it takes on him. Like that's the thing. He's gonna. I'll say this as far as a business decision, he's going to make a ton of money on this sale. Like he not that he needs any more money with the Jordan brand and everything, but all the income he has coming in from that. But I mean, he is proven to be probably one of the savviest businessmen. Like that. Definitely one of the savviest basketball businessmen.
And I don't think the team is unsalvageable.
It's
they still have LaMelo.
It's sad. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. I just think that the team is still salvageable. They still have LaMelo. Miles Bridges might come back next year. They're probably going to get a really good draft pick, despite the fact that they don't want it, that they were trying to win this year. But they are going to have a high draft pick. If they get Wembanyama, like all these problems could wash away, right?
Yeah.
How high are their chances? I have no idea. But yeah, I think we've maybe talked more about the Charlotte Hornets than maybe any other podcast. So I think we have given them their just due for the season.
Yeah.
So like I said, I wouldn't be all doom and gloom necessarily if it's getting sold or whatever.
No.
It's something different.
Michael Jordan's making a shit ton of money, and on top of that, he's like, this has to be a burden on him. Like, I mean, to lose that much, that can't ever be fun, especially for a guy who literally all he can think about constantly is winning. So
right.
And
I think it's like hard when it's out of your control too. Like when he was a player, he could go out there and be like, all right, at least like the fate's in my hands. Now it's just like, all right, I'm just putting these people together, and I'm seeing what happens, and I can't do anything about it, really.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And in some ways, people have like said that he's destroyed young players' careers with him trying to, But um, anyway, like
It's
I
a
said, we talked a lot
conversation.
about him.
Conversation for another
The,
day. Got one
yeah,
more. I got one
go
more
ahead.
on the obituary list. So yeah, rest in peace to the Detroit Pistons. And the bad boy. You could just take out the boy part. There's the bad Pistons. Like they're looking like they're going to be the worst team in the league. I mean, they have a little bit further to go until they can complete that goal. But yeah, dude, um, Detroit sucks, man. Like they're
I think I feel like they are one of the most getting off the hook teams in the NBA. And what I mean by that is people don't really talk trash about them like that. Like, and they have like whenever you hear people talk about bad teams, for a while it was Sacramento. Now they talk about Charlotte, the Houston Rockets as a team people bring up. But people don't really talk about the Pistons that much, and they've been bad for a while now. Like they have gotten high draft picks. Like we're going on like 4 or 5 years of rebuilding, pretty much. Like at a certain point, like you gotta be like, what's going on? Like this is crazy.
I mean, it is crazy. I mean, what do you,
Cade Cunningham has only played 12 games this season. I had no idea that was the case, too. Oh my
dude?
god.
They they
They are fucked.
they're just a trash team, dude. Like, and I mean, they so when you want to talk about teams who have hope, like I just don't. Again, like there's certain franchises where you just start to look at them and you're like, okay, well, what are you doing, and like, what do you plan to do? And I don't know
And by
what.
the way, I apologize to any Detroit Pistons fans for not knowing that Cade Cunningham was out for that long. You guys are not on
Don't
my
apologize to
radar.
them.
I
Don't apologize to
genuinely
them.
apologize.
Their team.
I
no,
should
no,
know these
no.
things.
Don't apologize
but-
to them, dude. They won 16 games this season. That's atrocious.
God.
They're lucky. They're lucky they're even being featured in our podcast, which has thousands and thousands of listeners at this point.
At
I'm
this
sure.
point, man, like wow, man. At least with like Houston, you can be like, man, Şengün looks pretty good. Like that guy is gonna be a good player. Detroit, like, if there's good players who have potential, I don't know about it. Like, I don't know about them. If they
No.
exist, then congrats to them, and I hope they get on a better team. But man,
or hopefully they get Wimbayama.
yes.
They may need him.
Two other teams. We don't have to talk a lot about them, but it does seem like at this point the Orlando Magic is going to be on the outside looking in.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's yeah. It does with Chicago playing the way they are, and I mean they still have the Pacers and the Wizards in front of them. I think that they're on their way out. They do have Disney World and Universal Studios right there, so they're gonna have a lot of
Right.
things to do.
This is another team that has been like tanking and shit for way too fucking long.
Yeah.
And that rightfully gets like talked shit about.
They showed signs this season though, and I do think that it's tough. It's tough because they Holmgren wasn't playing this season, so it's gonna be hard to say. Oh,
Holmgren's on OKC.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So without the side by side comparison with the number 1 and the number 2 pick, it's hard to say.
I see. Okay.
It's hard to say. Oh, they've gotten the better pick. So I think that it's gonna time will tell about that. I really do think that. I said it before. I think that Holmgren he's going to have problems staying healthy. I mean, I just think it's his frame, dude. He's got to bulk up. If he doesn't, he's gonna have problems staying healthy. That's
Yeah,
my take on it.
but
I hope he does.
but
I hope
the
he does.
Orlando Magic, the Orlando Magic, um, they have talent. Markel Fultz has been playing better.
They're
Franz
gonna.
Wagner, Powell, like they should be a better. They should be 500 next year. They should be in the play-in, in the playoffs.
They're
Honestly,
gonna have a
and if they're not in the playoffs, you got to take a look at that coach.
they're gonna have a top
And
five.
really,
They're gonna probably have a top five pick this season as well.
yeah.
So
So and they got like good players on the bench too. Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs, like I think they're going to be better next year.
they've shown they've
But
shown signs. They've shown signs.
the Wizards, I think, are probably out of it at this point. They could theoretically maybe catch up in there, but it's not going to happen. Looking at the rest of their schedule, they lost today, so it doesn't even seem like anybody in that organization wants to win. Like, honestly, like
No.
that's really how I feel. About
Well,
that team.
what was their big move? Kristaps Porzingis, like
They
that was
got
their
Porzingis,
Bradley Beal.
who has been playing good, but like he's always hurt. You know what I mean? I'll try to. He definitely played more games this
They
season. Um,
put their hopes on Kyle Kuzma. Like, come on.
who's wow? I'm impressed. So Porzingis has actually played more than I thought. He's played 61 games this season.
Yeah. Well, how do you do?
His numbers are pretty good, but the team's not winning. So Bradley Beal has barely played like at all, and like he's not even had like that many great games from like the few I've seen. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing.
They're going home. That's what they're doing.